Donald Trump just proposed 50-year mortgages, half a century of payments. He says it'll make homes affordable again. Or is it just another way to stretch your debt longer while banks quietly double their profits? Today, we're breaking it down. What this proposal really means, why it's getting attention, and most importantly, whether it actually helps you build wealth or keeps you stuck. So, let's dive in. Here's what most people missed in the announcement. Trump floated the idea of 50-year fixed-rate mortgages, basically doubling the 30-year term we've all grown up with. And the promise sounds great. It's smaller monthly payments, easier qualification, and supposedly more people able to buy homes. Now, at first glance, who wouldn't like that? But here's the first twist. Affordability and wealth aren't the same thing. You see, a smaller monthly payment doesn't automatically make you richer. It just changes when you pay, and often it stretches your leash, not your freedom. A lower monthly payment might sound like a dream, but when you stretch that dream over half a century, it starts changing the entire game, not just for you, but for lenders, investors, and the entire economy. Now, let's get practical and see what that actually means. You see, bank and investors hate long-term risk. A 50-year mortgage means they're waiting until 2075 to get their money back. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac would have to rewrite their rule books. And investors who buy mortgage-backed securities, they're not exactly thrilled about holding debt that matures when their grandkids retire. So politically, it's an easy talking point, but economically, it's complicated and potentially unstable. Still, the bigger question isn't whether the system can handle it, it's whether you should. So let's find out. So let's forget politics for a minute. The only question that really matters is this. Does a 50-year mortgage actually make you wealthier, or does it quietly drain you over time? Now, to answer that, we've got to stop guessing and look at the actual numbers. So let's do some math. So let's crunch it like an investor would. Let's take a $500,000 home at 6% interest. A 30-year loan would be $2,998 a month. A 50-year loan, $2,746 a month. So you save about $252 each month. Seems smart until you zoom out. See, the total interest on a 30-year is $579,000. Total interest on a 50-year, $1.15 million. That's $568,000 more interest for the same house. It's not cheaper, just slower. But here's where it actually gets tricky, because the longer loan can still win on paper if you play it perfectly. You see, here's the fine print that most people never notice. In the first 10 to 15 years of any mortgage, almost everything you pay is interest. You see, when I first bought my first rental years ago, I was proud of that low payment until I realized 85% of it was going straight to the bank. And that's when it hit me. Cheap isn't always smart. So when people say it's not a 50-year loan, it's 50 years of interest, they're not really wrong. And that matters because most people never even reach the stage where their payments start meaningfully reducing principal, which leads us right into the next point. The average homeowner in the US keeps their house for only 11.8 years. Not 30, not 50, just about 12. So imagine locking in a 50-year mortgage, but selling after 12 years. You spent that entire time paying mostly interest, built almost no equity, and you're starting over again. Less than 1 in 3 homeowners under 65 have completely paid off their mortgage. So for most people, that long-term strategy never actually plays out. Still, let's see what the math says if you did stick it out to the end. Okay, so here's the traditional route. 30-year mortgage at 6%. Monthly payment is $2,998. Total interest, $579,000. Home paid off after 30 years. Then years 31 through 50, you invest that same $2,998 each month at 10%. After 20 years, that investment grows to about $2.08 million. Add your paid off home around $1 million, you're sitting with $3.1 million in total wealth. It's solid, no doubt about it. But the story doesn't end there. Now let's look at the new idea. 50-year mortgage. Monthly payment is $2,746, total interest $1.15 million. You invest that $252 difference each month for 50 years at 10%. By year 50, that investment grows to around $3.28 million. Add your home's $1 million value, you have $4.3 million in total wealth. So purely by the numbers, the 50-year wins by about $1.2 million or more. But that's just the spreadsheet version of life. Life rarely follows Excel. You see, that advantage only exists if you invest every single month for 5 decades, never skip, never spend the difference, and the market averages 10% forever. If returns drop to 6 or 7%, that advantage nearly disappears. And if you sell after 12 years like most people, you'll never see the compounding, only the interest. So mathematically, the 50-year can absolutely work. Behaviorally, it rarely will. And that brings us to the real reason people stay broke, even with good math. You see, let's be honest, most people don't invest the difference. They spend it. The new car, the new vacation, the upgraded home. This isn't a numbers problem, it's a discipline problem. A 50-year mortgage rewards the patient investor, but punishes the emotional spender. If you don't trust your habits, the math won't save you. And that lack of discipline kills more wealth than any interest ever could. When your 30-year loan is gone, that payment becomes income. You can invest it, start a business, or buy back your time. With a 50-year loan, that day never comes. You're leveraged for life, always paying, always owing. So sure, your net worth might look higher on paper, but freedom delayed is freedom denied. And if that sounds dramatic, just look at what happened last time someone tried this. Japan tried 100-year mortgages in the 1980s. Families literally passed debt to their children. When prices fell, entire generations were trapped. You see, extending debt doesn't create affordability. It just disguises the pain for a while. So is the 50-year mortgage a brilliant idea or just a dangerous one? The truth is, it's both. Mathematically, it can work. Behaviorally, it almost never will. So for the disciplined investors, maybe it's a tool. For everyone else, it's a trap disguised as opportunity. Don't stretch your loan, stretch your income. Don't chase affordability, chase freedom. If you want to learn how to actually build wealth without adding decades of debt, grab my free guides at ShaunSurgener.com and subscribe for more breakdowns like this. And in my next video, I'll show you how to stretch your income the right way without giving up 50 years of your life to a mortgage. I'll see you on the next one.